attended a women's equality event in my life. I would rather be up here talking about almost anything else other than my career as a female in uniform. Could teach a class on war fighting, some Civil War history, any number of classes, but talking about women's equality is hard for me. And I want to share with you how I ended up here behind this podium right now. A little over a month ago, I had a motivator walk into my office and ask me if I was willing to be the guest speaker for Women's Equality Day. And immediately, inside my mind, I'm flipping out. Like, not only no, but hell no. Like, it is something that I don't want to go near, don't invite me, I don't want the flyer. It's not something that I have ever been involved with or ever want to be involved with, right? And all this is going through my head while the lieutenant is standing there asking me very politely. And I have this moment of, I go Marine, right? When I start to stress out, go Marine. And what I see in front of me is an obstacle. There's an obstacle that has been placed in my path that's making me very uncomfortable. And as Marines do, what I do when I see an obstacle, I'm gonna jump on it, and I'm gonna attack it, and I'm gonna make it my own, and I'm gonna pound it into powder. So I turn to her and I say, I would be happy to be your guest speaker for Women's Equality Day because I know that it will help me grow as a person, might make me a better leader, right? And it's been a really cool journey this past couple of weeks getting to where I'm going. So I roll this around in my head for a few days. Like, now I've agreed to do this. What in the world am I going to talk about? You'll see that I don't have any notes, although the Sergeant Major has made me practice several times. And I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I have no idea. These people don't want to hear what I have to say because, honestly, as a female Marine, anytime I've heard the words female and Marine mentioned together, it's either been a door shutting in my face or some unwanted attention. It's very rarely been a good thing. So I called my mentor. I called my touchstone, my mentor, and I said, what am I going to do with this? Like, what am I going to say to these people, this packed crowd, right? And my mentor said, he went Marine on me, said, what is your mission? Why are you here? Where are you going? It's another Marine thing. Where am I going? That's why I'm worried about obstacles, because I know where I'm going, and then there's an obstacle in my way. I'm pound that thing into dirt, and then just keep going as fast as I can, right? And that's all he said to me. What is your mission? And so that got me thinking, what is my mission? And this is my mission. This is my youngest child on Onslow Beach at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And I put my cover and my boots on her to get a cute summer picture, right? But standing here now, this is not cute, this is truth. This is the next generation of who may be sitting in these same seats 20 or 30 years from now, right? So what she sees, where I am leading her is important, and I need to think about what road I'm taking her down. I should not go blindly. All right, so we've already talked a lot about history, but I want to make it personal. I'll wrap this back around to where we're going, where our mission is. Okay, so my grandmother was born in 1903, and she lacked a lot of opportunities, but the main one that we've talked about here today is the right to vote, okay? We gained the right to vote in 1920 with the 19th Amendment, but the 19th Amendment didn't pop into existence. There's a history there. Two of these ladies, Miss Mott and Miss Stanton, go to London for a World Anti-Slavery Conference in 1840. Go all the way to London for a conference, and the conference organizers won't seat them because they're women, okay? So Miss Mott and Miss Stanton come back to the United States, and they stew on that for 8 years until 1848, when they hold the first Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls, New York. Now they know they're going to have this meeting, room like this, 300 people in there. They know that they're going to have this meeting, and they've got to come out with a mission statement. They're going to define what it is that they're fighting for, and then they're going to take that outside of the conference and pass it on to other women to spread the good word, right? But there's dissension in the ranks. Ms. Stanton wants to include women's suffrage. She knows that only by including the right to vote can women affect long-term change, because then you change the government, you're changing legislation. Ms. Mott says, that's crazy talk. If we include the women's right to vote in our list of what we want to accomplish, people are going to ignore everything else and they're just going to focus on this crazy talk. Extended women through ranger school, right? Like, it's crazy. So what they do is they decide, you know what, we'll put it before the convention. Okay, so they put it before the convention. There's a debate. You know, half the people think, you know what, giving women the right to vote is the right thing to do. Let's include that. The other half says, that's crazy talk. Like, that's not the time for that. Let's not fight for that yet. But one man, the only African American in attendance, stands up and he says something. And he says that women should have the right to vote. This is an important part of, this is a right that women should have, and it should be included in the resolution. And he sways the whole crowd. And you know, that's kind of what it's been like in my life. The people who have drugged me forward, my husband, people like Sergeant Major Curitan and Gunnery Sergeant Alvarez, those are the sorts of people, all men, who have drugged me forward with them. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That was a little ad-lib there. You like that? Thinking about you. All right, so he sways the crowd. The verbiage is inserted in the resolution. Everybody votes on it. It passes, and the fight is on. All right. Of course, none of that stuff passes until 1920. But what's the point here, Lieutenant Colonel Mullen? I've already watched all this history. The point here is that history is not done working. Okay. Women in Bahrain just got the right to vote in 2002. Women in Kuwait, 2005. And women in Saudi Arabia are voting for the first time this year, 2015. Okay? So we need to pick up our heads out of what we've got going on and think about this as a global issue. Okay? We're not just women in America, we're women of the world. All right, go back in time just a little bit to my mom. My mom was born in 1943. She's got the right to vote, which is a cool thing, but she's not dreaming about being a general. She's not dreaming about being a president or any such thing. She's gonna grow up and she's gonna leave high school and she's gonna get married and she's gonna start a family. The end. That's it. So she ends up doing some amazing things. She raises some strong kids and she's a small business owner. A feisty, brave woman, but she didn't have the opportunities that some of us standing here today have. Things are happening around her, right? 1948, you have the Women's Armed Forces Integration Act, which make women a full-time part of the active duty force. You have things like the Equal Pay Act, equal pay for equal work. And then, in 1976, I'm born, okay? Light of her life. Hi, Mom. So 1976 is the first year that they let women into the service academies, the West Point and the Naval Academy, okay? I grow up with role models. I see women going into space. I see women in sports. I am encouraged to play high school sports. I'm not offered the opportunity to go to college. I am told I will go, right? No option. And I see women like this. The first and only female African-American senator. Only one. And when we hear stats about ground that women are breaking, we also have to remember things like 24 states have never elected a female governor. 22 states, it's almost half, have never put a woman in the Senate. Okay? So only 17% of our government, of the Congress, are women. Even though we talk about, we're more than half the population. So other people can look out for your interests, but they just might not know your story as well as you do. So use your vote and use it wisely. People work hard for that stuff. you should exercise it. So where am I today? That leads me to today, okay? I went to college. I can vote. I am a lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps. I have access to birth control pills. I get equal pay for equal work. These are all big deals that people worked hard for. So instead of just standing here and rolling around in that and enjoying it, I should do what my mentor said and figure out where it is that I'm going. Because if I know where I'm going, then when I run into obstacles, I can beat those things into powder, right? And when I beat down obstacles into powder, what does that do? Lets people like this motivator get a little bit farther down the road, okay? This is my oldest child. My husband and I are both United States Marines, and when people tell us we can't do something, we just go ahead and do it anyway, right? My girls have taken that to heart. I have 4 girls, and they do all kinds of things which people are amazed by, but they shouldn't be, okay? They play football, they play hockey, they carry around earthworms, you know, they play Halo with Dad, way too late, like these sorts of things, right? But they have forced me, along with the speech and along with some men who drug me out of my comfort zone, to think about where I'm going as a woman. Not just to wander aimlessly down the road pretending like I'm not a woman, but to think about where I need to go so that I can make her road a little bit easier. Not easier, but she'll be able to get farther if I pave her road a little bit better. All right, so who are her role models? Here's a role model. This is the first female fighter pilot in the UAE. She ran a combat mission last fall against ISIL. And there are many, just throwing up 1 or 2 here. And Malala won the Nobel Peace Prize. Motivating. Brave lady. So what work needs to be done? I'm going to leave Malala's picture up here because she's a great example. What brought attention to her plight or her mission is the fact that she was shot by the Taliban for fighting, for voicing her regards for girls' education, okay? That's what she was fighting for. The poorest group in America right now are young women who are trying to care for their children. Human trafficking, poverty, early marriage, education, these are all worldwide concerns for women that we should all be concerned about. So the point here is that although we talk about history and why we're here today, what we should be focused on is where we're going. This is not ancient history. This is history in the making. My grandmother couldn't have imagined in a million years that her granddaughter would be standing up on a stage as a lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps. So I would encourage all of you to think about what your granddaughters are going to do. What are my granddaughters going to do? And how are we going to help them get there? Thank you very much.
I wasn't supposed to say anything, but I can't not say anything after that speech. I suspect that Colonel Mullen has faced a lot larger obstacles than this speech in her life and pounded them all into powder. But here, Colonel. So thank you very much, Semper Fi.
Thanks, sir. Thank you very much, sir.